In this video, I'm going to show you how to approve a credit card charge or an invoice request. I'm going to start by logging on to the Blackbaud login page using my credentials that I've established for my account. If I have access to these tabs up here, I can select expenses and manage expenses, or if I don't see these tabs up here, I can go ahead and select the menu button in the top left-hand corner and selecting Financial Edge NXT from the drop-down. I'll go ahead and navigate to the Expenses tab and select Manage Expenses. There's two sections here. One is for pending charges and one is for pending requests. Pending charges means these are credit card charges that have already been incurred, and someone who reports to you or that has incurred an expense on behalf of your department is asking for approval. So I'm going to click on the number itself to begin approving credit card charges. The first thing I'm going to look at is the description up here. I'm going to also look at the description here, as this is an area where a staff member may be trying to communicate something that's important to me about this transaction. Lastly, there's a description here that's a line item detail. The other two big things that are going to be important is the amount and then the account. And lastly, the project code. So if I select View Distribution, I can go ahead and make sure that those 2 or 3 description areas that I had just looked at coincide with the appropriate account that's been charged. So I'll select this little magnifying glass, and I can tell this is going to the Facilities and Grounds housekeeping account. In this scenario, based on the description, I think this is correct. So I will move on to the project code. There's no project codes for the housekeeping account as per the department head, and so I am going to say that this one is good to go. So I'm going to hit save. You will notice that the account code and the project code will be listed on the face of this form, and that's a good way to tell whether or not it's the appropriate account. You may begin to even start memorizing these codes as you see them more and more, but again, selecting View Distribution up here on the right and selecting the magnifying glass will be an alternative way that you can see the name of the account. You don't need to review the receipt as detailed. That's more of an accounting department job, but if you do need to refer to it, it's here for you, and you can. So after you've reviewed this to make sure everything is correct, you can go ahead and hit approve. But let's throw up a situation where maybe these little account codes here actually look like asterisks or stars. If that's the case, that means that you don't have access to the account that is in here, and you need to either change it to the appropriate account or this transaction is not supposed to have gone to you. Sometimes people that are outside of your ministry will purchase something for your department, and therefore they're going to have to charge it to their budget and expect you to charge it to yours in the appropriate account once you receive it. So if that was the case, you would simply just change it in the View Distribution section, and you could change it to whatever you needed to. So in this case, I'll just say Student Ministry Supplies. I would select it, and then I would hit Save. Also, there could be a situation where, as I mentioned before, you don't have access to the account and you shouldn't have received this for approval. In that case, you can hit reject and you can select the reason code of wrong approver or whatever is appropriate and type some notes in here. It will then go back to the person that sent it to you. Now I'm going to go back to the Expenses tab and select Manage Expenses. The pending request section is for invoice requests. This means that we're trying to pay someone via check and you need to approve it so that we can. This is going to be pretty much identical to the previous process for credit card charges. You're going to select, or rather review, the descriptions here, if there was a expense detail description, you look there as well, the amount, and then the account. Again, the account and the project code are the two biggest things that I'd like you to pay attention to. Again, the invoice is here for your approval. We would encourage you to review that if you think something is off. But again, in the accounting department, we will review that to make sure that all the dollars and cents tie out and that everything makes sense. So really it's your job to just make sure the account, the project code, the amount, and the descriptions all make sense. Again, I'd be able to hit approve or reject if I needed to. This is all I have for you guys in terms of approving a credit card charge or an invoice request. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at cstewksbury@bethelweb.org. Thanks so much.